Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the varsity season and the season these guys had together this year. Now, usually for most soccer coaches, the season starts the second week of August on that first day of tryouts. That was not the case for me this season, though. After accepting the varsity job at the end of last spring, I first had to hire a whole new coaching staff and was able to convince a few younger guys to come to a program that many people had given up on. One thing I did know for certain, though, going into this year, is that we would surprise a lot of people and a lot of teams. However, I didn't anticipate even surprising ourselves. We started the year against one of the hardest and toughest teams in the state, and a team that was ranked #1 in the preseason rankings. Now, any of you that have coaching experience could imagine me as I find out I'll be the varsity coach for the upcoming season, running home, getting on my computer, and right away checking our schedule for the first game and see that we are in fact playing the #1 team. I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to spend all of this time the first 2 weeks of preseason trying to change these guys' attitude and approach, and we would come out and maybe get walloped in our first game. Turns out we did lose that first game, but it wasn't a loss like we had in the past few years I've been here. It felt a lot different. I could tell there was something special about this year's squad. Next game, we're away on a turf field at Penfield, on a turf which is a disadvantage for us right away, and the boys pull off a win against a team we hadn't beaten for years. I can tell you right now, nothing is better than looking at a coach as you go through the handshake line, and instead of receiving a sympathy, great try, or good effort like we had in the past few years, we now see a team that is shocked and in disbelief that they just lost to Gates Childline. I'll admit.
That's just part one.
I'll admit, I think I perfected the smirk as I shake a coach's hand that says, yeah, that's right, buddy. Gates Childline. These guys went on to get 7 wins this year, and a sectional win as well, which was the first in a long time. I think it was about 5 years. The complete 180 that this program took this year was incredible. With 1 win in the past 3 years and no wins in the past 2 years, you would think that we would have needed a few foreign exchange students or transfers in order to do what we did. Instead, though, it was the same guys that had been committed to Gates Childline from the beginning who came in August with a different attitude. That never give up, work your butt off attitude helped us outplay and out-hustle some of the best teams in the state. I cannot credit these guys enough for not listening to the media or to the people outside the program who had already written them off before the season had begun.
Facts.
As a coach, I always try to explain how close you become with the team, even though you only have been with them for a few months. And even in my young coaching career, I found that this is an impossible task to do. With all the ups and downs that a season brings, we had some truly amazing moments. From that first win at Penfield, or Stephen Tucken winning a goal with 30 seconds left to win at Victor, the team effort it took to come from behind and beat state-ranked Churchville, and the awesome feeling of having an away game for JV and varsity, and both teams coming home with a win. Something that also has been non-existent here in the past. I could go on and on about the great things that would have happened in practice and in all the time I spent with these guys since August. Even though we had a good season and many of the other coaches around the county think it was incredible, the most impressive thing the guys did on both teams this year was turning around a program that was at its lowest point. No matter who's part of the coaching staff, it always comes down to the guys that are on the teams. This year they stepped up and have inspired players, returning for next year, and even more importantly, the younger guys at the middle school level who are getting their first taste of school soccer. I had a chance to talk with many of those guys, and I know that this is a theme, but for the first time since I've been here, those guys are now excited to work hard and become part of the JV and varsity squads. For many of them, all it took was coming to one game under the lights and seeing the intensity and the passion these guys played with, and then also getting to see the reward and that feeling of accomplishment when it all comes together. I want to thank all the guys in this room for being a part of that, because it has pole vaulted this soccer program to a height that I thought would have taken a long time. As you can see, it was a great season, but before I bore you guys with all just me talking over and over again, I'll start doing some individual awards for these guys as I call them up. Adam Blackwell was a freshman. He just had to leave actually do soccer practice tonight that he had. He's not on a team where he's not allowed to miss practice, so he had to get there, but he pulled him up as a freshman, did an excellent job this year, and as long as he puts on about 100 pounds, we'll be okay next year. So for you guys who don't know how I kind of do banquets, this is the first time I'm doing for soccer, but I like to talk about the senior guys each individually. And for the juniors and sophomores and freshmen, I'll kind of just call your name up. Maybe talk to you about you real quick, but I have a few more years with you guys, so I'll see you a few more times here. But seniors, you guys kind of get a little special recognition tonight. So we'll start with the juniors on the team. I already mentioned the one freshman. We have some juniors. Christian Annabelle was the first junior I'm going to call up. The coaches are out here. Christian Annabelle had a great, outstanding season this year. Played in the middle field for us and in the midfield, also on the outsides. Coaches around the county also recognize that and voted Christian for second team all-county. One of our defenders on the team. He's on crutches right now, but Jason Capistano.
He's a trooper.
The worst slice to a Formula 1.
Joey Crocker, come on. Jacob Fava.
That's karma. Jason, that was karma. He tried this chair. That was karma.
Nico! It's actually funny seeing Nico right now because I've actually known him since before he could walk. So I've known him for a really long time. It's really cool to see him actually being able to kick a soccer ball for real now. So it's pretty good. Dante! Connor Hamilton. Eric Scala.
Coach, is that a sprint?
CJ Leonardo.
Yo, Bird. 104 days.
Evan.
Let's go, Franca.
Yeah, Bronco. Dustin Mayer. Coaches also recognized Dustin's efforts this year and his skills on the field, and he was voted honorable mention for all county. Congratulations. Another guy who also received honorable mention all county from the coaches around Section 5 and had some great goals for us this year. Some great individual efforts as well. Stephen Wynn, come on up.
Rice cooker.
Steve the Beast.
The last junior on the team is a guy who probably had nightmares from all the soccer balls that were shot at him. I have to check, but I do believe he broke some of the records for saves for Gates Charlie history, so I have to check if they're actually verifying that for me. He had something like 181 saves this year, which is ridiculous. Justin Bailey, come on up. Justin also was voted second team all-county this year by the coaches. Alright, moving on to the seniors. We had 10 seniors this year. This was a special class for me. I know I watched these guys, my first year here was 3 years ago. This is my 4th year here. And I saw these guys when they were starting out just on JV. So it's kind of special because when I first started here, they first started here at Gates Challenge up at the high school level. So first guy is Gio Alberto. Now, Gio is one of the guys that had all the potential in the world to be an excellent varsity player. Admittedly, though, I was not sure what I was going to get from him this season, or if he would be able to reach where I thought he should be. To his credit, Gio worked his butt off like all of these guys did, and wasn't happy with settling for a senior year that would match the ones he had previously experienced. Not a day went by without him asking me about something to do with his positioning, or what to do in a certain situation on the field. He was one of the most coachable guys I have ever had the opportunity to be around, and it showed both to the coaching staff and to his fellow teammates as they voted him for Most Improved Player this year. I'm so proud of what this young man was able to do this season and how he approached the preparation each day in practice. It was a joy to be around Gio, and I know there are bright things ahead for you as you move on through high school career.
Oh, Giordano, baby.
All right, man, as I call you up, stay in your seat until I'm done talking, then you can come up, all right?
Yeah, Gio.
Antonio Bonomo. Antonio is one of the few guys on this team this year that actually had a fairly high amount of playing time at the varsity level. And as a result of that, my expectations for him were high this year. He was selected as a captain coming into the season and did an outstanding job leading a group of guys that needed to come together this year. One of the many great things about having Antonio as a player is that he is very versatile on the field. I think in his high school career, he played both forward and defense, and a couple times, and this year he played all over the midfield for me as well. For his small stature, he is strong on the ball and has the vision to distribute it to his teammates in dangerous positions. He also has the character and desire it took to earn the respect from the coaches and the other teams as they voted him as an honorable mention all-county player. Antonio, you'll be missed, but I know with little G coming up, you won't be too much of a stranger. Come on up. We'll see if you can guess this guy. If you had the chance to meet the next guy, he is a character. As a coach, he can make you upset and frustrated. He can make you amazed at something he does on the field. And he can make you laugh with his constant positive attitude. Nick Crocker is a whirlwind of emotions. He was a forward turned defender this year. And not that he wanted to be, but he didn't have much of a choice in the matter. And that was something I made him do this year, even though he asked me every single game to play forward. For getting time in a position that I did not know much about, I could not be more proud of everything he was able to accomplish for us. As long as it wasn't raining out, you could count on Nicky to practice on time, and he worked hard every single day. When I first met him, he was a little bit bigger and committed himself to changing his body to become a very fast and difficult guy to get past. I know that he enjoyed being part of the team this year, and if I was feeling down, it usually didn't last too long if Nick was around. I wish you all luck in the future and look forward to hearing about what adventures you get yourself into. Nick, come on up, buddy.
Wait, doesn't she go to church, Bill?
Nathan Daly. Nate is one player that I've had a chance to coach now for 3 years. In the first year I met him, his sophomore year, he was up on varsity starting, and was in my mind, probably the best player on the entire field that year. Last year I noticed a major step back for him as he seemed to lose interest and passion in a sport I knew he loved. Luckily, something woke him up this year, and he became the monster in the middle that he always looks like. His size and strength helped him win almost every 50-50 ball in the air, and this often came against the best players from the other team who played in the middle. He surprised me with how composed he became with the ball at his feet. It was an integral part of a defense that stifled every team we faced. Now I know his heart was set on playing goalkeeper, and the only way to keep him under control was to let him in practice every now and then. But he really stepped up in a position that we needed someone to this year. Nate, thanks for everything. I know you probably went to bed often at night with my voice yelling at you, but you had a happy year. Come on up.
We don't want to see your poop, bro.
Hey, give us one.
Good run, hey, good run.
Come on.
Next guy is Garrett. Garrett, much like Gio, who I talked about earlier, is one of the players who I was not quite sure on what he would be able to give the team this year. Right away, however, in the preseason, he showed that he could finish the ball and deserve some time up top. I know he would have liked to get up there a little bit more, but he also helped out greatly on the outside mid position, and even at defense a couple times. To his credit, this is not easy. Garrett never once complained about playing time or position I would plug him into when he was in a game. His playing time varied as a result of a number of different things, but like I said, not a single word out of him. I won't forget his assist to Victor or his goal against Churchill that helped these guys have the bragging rights for this year. I wish I could somehow get a number of the players here another year of eligibility because we could use the hardworking attitude that Garrett brings each day. Whatever your future holds, I know you'll be successful, Garrett. Come on up, buddy. The next player is the definition of a fire attitude while playing on the field. In the past couple years, I've seen him get in trouble at times and allow teams to take him out of the game at other times. In the beginning of this year, this trend continued just for about 2 games, and then he realized how important he was to what we were doing on the field, and that fire he always played with became his most important weapon. Kaz was able to win every head ball that was put his way, and was also one of the few guys that had the strength to cause chaos in the box, off corner kicks, or a throw from Dustin. I know for most teams he played in the back, but looking at the team this year, we needed him to be the strong presence at the top of our lines. Now, Kaz always had something to say, but he never did complain about my decisions or where to put him on the field. I tip my hat to him also because I know that during the year he juggles work, school, and soccer. For a young man, that isn't easy, especially when your coach is always on your butt. Kaz was a guy that was the most hard on at times during the games, but he also was one of the guys that I had the most confidence in when I told him to do something. I knew it would get done. It has been a lot of fun watching him grow up, as I've known him longer than he may realize, and I can't thank him enough for everything he gave to this program. Come on up, Kaz.
Yo, Coach, man, you breath. Victor Hardaway may very well be the most impressive high schooler that I have ever met. Going into the year, I hardly knew anything about this young man, other than that he was 100% committed to the Gates Charlie soccer program. Victor showed up to every single off-season futsal or captain's practice, and was the only guy to do this. His technical ability on the soccer ball when I first saw him play seemed to be non-existent, but his work ethic was the best I'd ever seen. With that being said, when Victor gets the ball in the game, he can make even the best defender in Section 5 look stupid. He somehow does things with the ball that I've never seen anyone do. He gets out of situations that I, still looking back on, can't figure out how he did. He has the ability to change the pace of the game in an instant and frustrate the other team. Victor is definitely well liked by the guys and often led our chants in the huddle pregame. For someone that was new to his school last year, he earned his spot and became part of a family that these guys were. I had the chance to often talk to Victor about his siblings, and I was looking to figure out ways to transfer them to Gates Chili, and he impressed me with all that is on his plate for a senior in high school. I know you have big plans ahead of you, and I have no doubts that you will accomplish all these and overcome every challenge that comes your way. By the way, Victor, you still owe me a plate of rice and chicken, but I'll let that slide for right now. Go, Victor, one more time, buddy. One more time. One more time. 7 games?
7 games! 7 wins!
Next guy is AJ Adam Hawk. AJ, I think, is one player on the team that I had never seen or heard about going into the season other than the fact that he's a hockey guy. This showed right away. As the first time I met him, you could see his size and the force that he could be on the field. His hockey attitude also is a hockey attitude also of hit anything that moves,
made him enforcer up top, not only against other teams, but against our own guys in practice. He has a switch where as a coach, you kind of just turn that on and then get out of the way and watch what happens. I often found myself telling a ref that a foul that he just called was soft, and not to hold it against him because he's a hockey player. AJ knows how to use his body to shield and push people off the ball in a way that refs just weren't used to seeing. AJ, I'm very glad that you were on our side every time we played a game, as many of these guys could be on crutches if you weren't. Good luck this hockey season, and thank you for coming out and being part of the team this year. Last couple seniors here. All right, so let's start at tryouts last year. I think it was the second day, and Anthony Lippa, during a simple warm-up, comes out to me and says, "Hey coach, my chest feels kind of tight." Of course I'm thinking, he must be pretty out of shape, because we only just started. This kid is already tight. We walked down to the nurse, because the trainer wasn't there that day. And then Anthony ends up going to the hospital. He has a collapsed lung, and gets a few surgeries, and ends up missing the entire season last year. Fast forward and going into this year, which was his senior year, I was hoping and praying that he would be able to play. Luckily he was, and even in limited minutes, Anthony had the ability to make a difference in the game. I won't lie to you, that playing a guy who has ultimately only one good lung would keep me up at night, but not because I was worried he would get hurt. I was more worried because Anthony wasn't the kind of guy to tell me when he was in pain. He gave everything he had for this team, and gave me near heart attacks with it. As I would ask him after a game that he played a little longer than usual, "Hey, how you feeling?" He would respond with, "I didn't want to tell you, but I was hurting pretty bad." Anthony, you're a tough kid. And that attitude rubbed off onto the rest of the guys. And because of that, I gave you the coach's gift, our coach's award this year. Come on, man.
Give us the John Cena, bro.
Give us the John Cena. You're crazy.
All right, the last senior on this team was a leader on and off the field for these guys, and is someone that earned my respect in every aspect possible. Adonis plays harder and tougher than any high school player I have ever seen, not only as a coach, but as a player. He would literally give every single thing he had for this team, every single day in practice, every single minute of every game. Not once he would play a team this year that I thought had a better player on the roster than Adonis. He won games for us and eliminated 2 and sometimes more players in the middle of the field from the other team. I know going into every game, the team's other focus was to try and take him out of the game, which never happened, and he proved to be an impossible task. He is a guy that I've received multiple calls and emails about, and he will be a crucial part of a college team next year. Whatever school he ends up choosing, found a guy who other places may overlook, and then they will pay for that. Adonis left impressions every time he played, and many coaches from Section 5 voted on him to be the Player of the Year, which resulted in him just losing out on winning that, but he did deserve first team All-County, as he was voted that, as well as an invite to play in the Section 5 Exceptional Player game this past weekend. I can guarantee you that if you keep watching the papers, you will see Adonis' name a few more times over the next couple weeks as some more awards come out. Adonis was also voted MVP from the team this year by the guys, and I can't wait to see what the rest of your soccer career holds. I know both the coaching staff and these younger guys will never forget the passion you played with. Come on out, Adonis.
Give us a who.
Before I kind of end the talking part of the night here, just want to remind people to take a look at the slideshow. I think there's over 1,600 pictures that parents kind of donated to the slideshow here. Definitely get a few looks at that. And I really, again, just want to thank all the parents for being a part of what really was probably the best experience of my life this year as a whole season. These guys, JV and varsity guys, both of you, I mean, you gave us something to smile about. I know 4 of us would stay up late at night, sometimes talking in group messages, or just having some food after games about how special things really are. And we try to enjoy it the best we could. For seniors, I knew it flew by. It definitely flew by for you guys, but man, it was a heck of a ride the whole time. Juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, all these guys are here. kind of be prepared for this, because this day comes faster than you know. So enjoy every single second that you have. Look at your parents tonight, tell them thank you for everything they did this whole season when you get home, because they couldn't, and we couldn't be here today without them, okay? They did an excellent job. Parents, thank you so much for everything. I want to thank the Waiter House, too, for having us tonight. One other guy is Anthony Wilson. I want to thank you, too, for everything you did.
Yeah, good job, G.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a chance to catch any of the highlight reels that Anthony would do, they're actually really cool with some cool effects. We had some very classic interviews with Dustin bleeding from his nose a couple times after games. There's some really good ones. So if you get a chance, please, if you want to see the information, Anthony will give it to you. Definitely take a look at what he did. He put in some excellent work, and it really was a cool way to acknowledge some accomplishments these guys had this year. So thanks again.
Good job, Anthony.
So last people I want to thank are definitely you guys as players. I already mentioned a number of times, but I can't say it enough. What you did, you probably will never realize until years down the road, but you turned around a program that, like I said, people gave up on. Nobody thought Gates Child would be where it was this year, and that has nothing to do with us. That has everything to do with you guys. So thank you for everything you gave. I know there was blood, sweat, tears all year this year from all of us, and it came together. Definitely came together. So thank you so much. Thank you again, parents, for coming out tonight. I know there's I think a few other desserts in the back and some other things. Like I said, take a look at the slideshow. Thank you again for coming out. I appreciate everything. Thank you for coming.